What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and having a great day. It is absolutely gorgeous outside. Yeah, it is a little bit hot, but there's absolutely no humidity, which makes it the perfect day to review this 2022 Ford Bronco Sport. Huge thank you to Patrick.young over at Koons Ford for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Bronco Sport or any Ford product, I'll be sure to have Patrick's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. Before we get into the exterior and performance part of the video, I greatly appreciate it if you guys would give this video a big thumbs up, as well as leave a comment in the comment section down below and hit that subscribe button. All those likes, comments, and subscriptions really help me and the channel grow, and YouTube will promote my videos more in the YouTube algorithm. So I greatly appreciate it if you guys would do all three of those things. But with that said, let's move into the exterior and performance. So like I said, this is a 2022 Ford Bronco Sport, and this particular one is painted in Area 51. But let's start over here at our headlights, because we do get LED headlights with signature LED lighting as well as automatic high beams. You also get LED daytime running lights, and in your front bumper is where you'll find your LED fog lights. At the center of the front end, you will find your black grille with white Bronco lettering, and just below that is where you'll find your black plastic front bumper. This particular Bronco Sport does get the standard fender flares, but you do get two fender flare options. I believe it's fender flare option 1, fender flare option 2, and it just gives you a more aggressive fender flare. Just below those fender flares is where you'll find your 18-inch machined face aluminum ebony black painted wheels wrapped in 225/60 Michelin Primacy all-season tires. I'll give you guys a look of that tread pattern there real quick. These wheels do come with the outer banks, and they are the only wheel option that you can get with the outer banks. Just to the right of your wheel and tire setup is where you'll find your black non-functional fender vent. That's what that looks like right there. Just to the right of that is where you'll find your outer banks emblem, and above that is where you'll find your matte black mirror caps. These mirrors are heated, power adjustable, and you will find your blind spot monitoring on the upper left hand corner of the driver's side mirror and on the upper right hand corner of the passenger side mirror. Taking a look at the top of the Bronco Sport is where you'll find your shadow black roof, and it is a safari style roof with roof racks. And just take a look at what they mean by the safari style roof. You can see how the roof kind of comes up a little bit, and it looks like one of those safari vehicles that you would find in Africa. It's actually pretty sweet. Obviously roof racks right here, and it kind of gives you like a two-tone style, which I think looks absolutely fantastic, and it just gives it a little bit of definition as compared to just a regular Bronco Sport. Body color door handles right here is where you'll find your keypad. So type in your keypad if you lock your keys in the vehicle, and type in your keypad and you can get into the vehicle. This also does get keyless access. Put your hand behind here, the vehicle unlocks. Run your finger across these hash marks and the vehicle will lock. But let's unlock it again. Capless filler neck. Opening this up, 87 octane will do just fine. And then let's take a look at the rear end of the Bronco Sport. So you do get LED taillights as well as Bronco Sport lettering at the center of the liftgate in white, just like you would find at the front end of the Bronco Sport. On the left hand side of the liftgate is where you'll find your Ford emblem. Right here you will notice you have something that says glass as well as door. So if I press this button right here, the rear glass will open. So let's say you have a dog and your dog likes to stick its head out the window, but you keep your dog in your trunk. You can open up this rear glass and your dog can breathe the fresh air. Or let's say you go to Home Depot and you're picking up some lumber, but it won't quite fit with the liftgate closed. Open up this glass and you can send that lumber through this glass hatch. I think that's really cool. Just to the right of where it says glass is where you'll find your rear view camera, and then right here it says door. So press on that and that opens up your lift gate. So let's take a look. You actually have a very good amount of storage space back here. I'm actually kind of surprised at all the storage space back here, but you get two LED lights on the right hand side of the trunk as well as a 12-volt power outlet. If I press this button on the left hand side of the trunk, that will turn on the floodlights in your lift gate, which is really awesome in my personal opinion. At night you can see exactly what's going on out here with those floodlights on your lift gate. Pretty cool. You got two handles on your lift gate as well. But let's take a look at what's under here, because that is where you'll find your rear spare tire. But let's close that. Another thing that's pretty cool about the fog lights is that they do move. So if I press this way, they can focus the light this way. If I press up top here, they will focus the light this way. So that's pretty cool. So take a look, take a step back, focus the light this way, push that, they focus the light this way. This tractor keeps driving by, but whatever, we'll just keep rolling with it. This thing does the same thing on this side as well. Let's close that hatch and take a look at the rear end. So just below where your backup camera is where you will find your matte black rear bumper. In your rear bumper is where you'll find your backup sensors. So you got one right here, one right here, one here, and one over here as well. You also do get 2 reflectors in the rear bumper, here, 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 and over there as well. If you guys do have the Class 2 trailer tow package, you also do get a max tow capacity of 2,000 pounds with the Bronco Sport Outer Banks. Let me know what you guys think of the Bronco Sports look in the comment section down below. I think the Outer Banks looks really sweet with that 2-tone type of paint scheme. But again, just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think of the Bronco Sport Outer Banks in the comment section down below. But with all that said, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that 1.5 liter 3-cylinder that makes 181 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 5.9 seconds. All Bronco Sports do come standard with 4-wheel drive. So if you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 25 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway for 26 miles per gallon combined. If you ask me, I'd say that that's really good fuel economy, especially for a SUV that does come standard with 4-wheel drive. And I think this thing also looks really, really good. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please give this video a big thumbs up. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think of the Bronco Sport. Also, please hit that subscribe button. I'm also doing an LS swap to a 1987 Ford F-150. So if that is something that piques your guys' interest, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a new video. But with all that stuff out of the way, let's move into the interior. Moving into the interior, like I said, you do get keyless access with the Bronco Sport. So all you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, put your hand behind the door handle, and the vehicle will unlock. You can also unlock the vehicle with this keypad here as well. But another thing I wanted to show you guys that has to do with the key fob before we move into the interior is that if you press this lock button once and press the button just below the lock button twice, the vehicle will fire up. So you do get remote start with the Bronco Sport. So let's unlock the vehicle and move into the interior, and let's take a look at this door panel. So you do get a nicely padded leather wrapped armrest with some accent colored stitching, automatic up and down windows at all 4 corners, power adjustable side view mirrors. Pressing on this button will lock the passenger side windows, unlock and lock button, black door handle, and a good amount of storage space down here. Bronco door sill in black, 8-way power adjustable driver seat, 6-way power adjustable passenger seat. But let's step into the interior because that tractor keeps driving by and it's pretty loud. But I'll turn down the climate control fan so you guys can hear me just a little bit better. Let's start over here and we'll work our way to the passenger side of the vehicle. So this button right here will unlock the rear hatch. Twisting this all the way to the left, you can see it's on 0. That means the headlights are off. This is daytime running lights on. This is headlights on automatic, and all the way down here is headlights always on. Press this button right here, that will turn the fog lights on. Press that button again, that will turn the fog lights off. These 2 buttons right here control the brightness and or dimness of your screen, as well as your backlit buttons. This is your turn signal stalk, as well as if you press this button on the end of your turn signal stalk, that will turn your lane keeping system on or off. So right now it's off. Press that button again, then that will turn the lane keeping system on. This is also your turn signal stalk. That's what the turn signal sounds like. And it's also your high beam stalk. So pull back, obviously that turns the high beams on. Push forward, that turns the high beams, automatic high beams on or off as well. So with the Bronco Sport Outer Banks, you do get a heated and leather wrapped steering wheel with cruise and audio controls on the steering wheel. So here are your cruise control settings, and here are your audio control settings: audio up, audio down, audio on mute, to speak to the vehicle, to pick up on a phone call, to hang up on a phone call, to go back on a track, to go forward on a track, or you can go back and forth between your different radio presets. These buttons right here control what's going on in your 6.5-inch productivity screen. So if I press back, you can go into your different screens. So right now you have your fuel economy screen. Push down on this, that brings you to trip 1, tire pressure, and this is connected to my phone right now. Let's go into menu. So you can go into the screen settings we were just at. So select screens. You can also go into your audio stuff, phone stuff, your settings, as well as your display setup. But let's talk about this gauge cluster here. This is your analog RPM gauge, analog speedometer. That lets us know that our high beams are on. So if I press forward on that, high beams turn off. Odometer, this vehicle has 13.5 miles on it. That is auto stop start off. This is 38 miles to empty. That means that is our fuel range. That lets us know right there that our headlights are on. That means we need to get some gas. Park, reverse, neutral, drive, and low. Coolant temperature. And this is our fuel range down here. These control your 6.5-inch LCD screen. Pull back on this, that washes our front windshield. Push forward on that, that washes the rear windshield. Let's take a listen to that horn. That's what the horn sounds like. And like I said, this is a heated as well as leather wrapped steering wheel that does come standard with the Outer Banks. So if I press this button right here, that turns the heated steering wheel on. One thing that's always kind of interested me is that I wonder why they put the heated steering wheel button on the passenger side when you have a blank button right there that would be closer to the driver to turn on the heated steering wheel. Just kind of something interesting that I've noticed messing around with the Bronco Sport as well as the Maverick. Above that button, you will find your 8-inch Sync 3 infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. We can talk about that here for a second. So you got your audio stuff down here, phone stuff, apps, settings. Right now, this is audio. Here is your compass, and this is phone stuff. So go into audio. You do get AM, FM, Sirius XM, as well as Bluetooth audio. We can go into our phone stuff. You can read recent call stuff, change phone, all that kind of stuff. I do apologize. I have this plastic screen on here that I don't want to take off. I'll let the owner take that off. You can go into your apps and then all your different settings. So you get your sound settings, clock settings, Bluetooth settings, phone settings, driver assistance setting, vehicle settings. This does have a $20 credit because this does not have the Wi-Fi hotspot in it. Just below that, volume knob, tuning knob. This is our hazard button. This is auto stop start on or off button. This brings us to our sound settings, treble, mid-range, bass, all these different things. You can go back on a track, to go forward on a track, to play or pause on a track. This will turn the screen to your clock. Press that again, that will turn the screen off. If you touch anywhere on the screen, it will appear again. Push button start. This is a great place that you can set your phone while you're driving. So my phone, iPhone 11 Pro Max, fits in there just fine. I do want to talk about, while we are on the riff of phones, this does have the $1,285 tech package. So with that $1,280 tech package, you do get that 10-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with subwoofer, as well as HD radio and a wireless charging pad down here. So if I set my phone down in here, it will start wirelessly charging. You can see the screen popped up, lets us know that we are charging, and a universal garage door opener, which is located on your driver's side visor. Back down to here, push button start, push your foot on the brake, push this button and the vehicle will fire up. This is all your climate control stuff. You do get heated front seats with 3 levels of adjustability. Down here, you got a USB-C port as well as a USB-A port and a 12-volt power outlet. Like I said, all the way to the left is where you'll find your wireless charging pad. You only get the wireless charging pad if you do option the vehicle with the $1,285 technology package. But this is your transmission dial. So right now we are in park. Twist it to the right, go into reverse, twist it one more time to the right, into neutral. All the way to the right is drive, and then you can press L to go into low. We'll twist it all the way back into park. You get 2 cup holders as well as a electronic parking brake. This is auto hold, and you have 5 different GOAT modes. So GOAT stands for goes over any type of terrain. So let's go into our different GOAT modes. So we got normal, we got eco, we've got sport, we've got slippery, and we also have sand. So those are your 5 different GOAT modes. I'm gonna leave it in normal until we get out onto the road. I may or may not throw it into sport mode. With the Outer Banks, you also get leather trimmed bucket seats. These ones in particular are called Ebony Roast. So you can see leather trimmed. You get some pockets on the side of the seats, which is really cool. You can also set your phone in there if you want to as well, so you're not distracted by it while you are driving. So I'll set my phone in there. That's what the phone looks like in there. You can also take it out, but pretty cool that you have those seat back pockets. You get some leather down the center of the seats with some like cloth type of material that goes on the seat bolsters, and then you get your leather trimming on the sides of the seat. A beautiful leather wrapped as well as padded armrest in the center with some accent colored stitching. Opening this up, get a decent amount of storage space down in there. I'd say about 1/4 of my forearm fits. Actually, I'd say maybe half of my forearm fits down in there. USB-C port and a USB-A port. And I wanted to say that these seats are actually pretty dang comfortable in my opinion. Auto dimming rear view mirror, LED light for the driver, LED light for the passenger, and then these buttons in the center control whether the lights turn on when you open up the door. So right now when I open up the door, the LED lights will turn on. However, if I press this button right here all the way to the right and I open up the door, the interior lights will not turn on. So center, that lets you have the interior lights turn on when you open up the door. And then if I want the dome lights or all the interior lights to turn on at once, that would be the button I would press on the left side. Behind all of that is where you'll find your sunglass holder. Like I said, you do have this visor here with a vanity mirror as well as 2 vanity lights. Same thing goes for the passenger side visor as well. Mic pickup for a Bluetooth phone. You do not get a grab handle on the driver's side. However, you do get a grab handle on all the other passenger seats. So I guess if you're a bad driver, the passengers can hold on, but the only thing that you get to hold on to is the steering wheel. Right in here is your glove box. It's actually a very big glove box. You can definitely fit your owner's manual as well as some napkins, straws, and whatever snacks you want to put down in there to be prepared for the zombie apocalypse. Bang & Olufsen speaker surround up top on the dash. But a couple things that I wanted to mention before we move into those rear seats, and that includes you do get a manually adjustable steering wheel. So you do not get a power steering wheel, but that's not a huge deal. But a couple things I wanted to go over before we moved into those rear seats, and that has to do with some of the standard safety features that you do get with the Bronco Sport Outer Banks. So those include pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking. Get that lane keeping system, which I showed you guys how to turn on or off. You also get blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert as well as rear parking sensors, and maybe you could include the backup camera as a safety feature as well. I guess I would include it as a safety feature, but I'm gonna turn these or adjust my seat so I'm comfortable driving. So I'm gonna scoot it up just a tad bit more so you guys can see how much space that I have behind my seat when I am adjusted behind myself. I am 5'9". But one more thing I wanted to talk about before we move into those rear seats, and that has to do with the MSRP of the way that this particular 2022 Ford Bronco Sport Outer Banks is spec'd. So the MSRP of this particular Bronco Sport is $37,310, and I'll have the window sticker on screen so you guys can take a look at that. But yeah, that's about it for the front seats of the Bronco Sport. Like I said, they are very, very comfortable, and I'll give you guys a little view of what the front seats look like. It's, like I said, 6-way power passenger seat, 8-way power driver seat, and you have these really cool pockets in your driver as well as front passenger seats. But let's move into those rear seats, and let's take a look at what's going on back there. So opening up these rear seats, I got my floor mats back here, so I'll take these floor mats and I'm going to put them in the trunk. And let's take a look at the door panel. The door panel looks pretty much the exact same as what you would find in these front seats, but in the front seats you get a leather wrapped as well as padded armrest with some accent colored stitching. Like I said, you get automatic up and down windows in the rear, which is really interesting because on the 2022 Ford F-150 Platinum I did a video with, you did not get automatic up or down windows in the rear. So that's just kind of interesting that a much cheaper vehicle, you do get automatic up and down down rear windows. Good amount of storage space down here. You could fit a Deer Park water bottle right here, but you're not gonna fit a smart water bottle. That's what these rear seats look like, leather trimmed like I was talking about. You get leather down the center of the seats, and then all this surrounding area is in cloth. Let's step into these rear seats. So behind these rear seats, you do get zipper pockets, so you can put maybe your phone down in there. But from up here to down here, that is all the storage space behind the driver's seat as well. Same thing for the passenger seat, which I think is really cool, and I think more manufacturers should include a zipper system, because you can actually have stuff not fall out. Well, most of the stuff isn't going to fall out anyway, but I think it's pretty cool that it is zipper, as well as you do get a strapped system down here. So if you guys want to put pliers, Phillips heads, flat heads, whatever kind of screwdriver or tool or whatever you want to put back here, pens, whatever it may be that will fit something like my finger, then you guys can set that behind your driver's seat as well as behind your passenger seat. Right here, 2 HVAC vents. Then at the bottom of the center console, you got a USB-A port as well as a USB-C port and a 150 watt household power outlet, which is really, really awesome. I'm gonna move my backpack over here just a little bit because you also do get a center fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and it's very nicely padded as well. So you get 2 cup holders right here, and then a cup holder in the door on this side and another cup holder in the door on that side. So you get 2 cup holders both on the outer doors, as well as 2 cup holders here for 4 cup holders total in these second row seats. Like I said, you also do get a grab handle, another grab handle over there, and a spot to set your dry cleaning if that's what you want to hang up, as well as your LED dome lighting up top here. But got a good amount of legroom, honestly, a good amount of knee room, and then a ton of headroom. So like I said, I am 5'9" and I am adjusted behind myself. That's how much room I have right about there. I'd say that's about 3 inches, plus tons of leg room, tons of knee room, and like I said, I got tons of headroom. But we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm sure you guys do too. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review. And this thing actually drives a lot better than I honestly expected it to. It's very comfortable. The suspension is a little bit on the firmer side, but I am now doing a speed bump test where we go over these speed bumps and I rate these different cars 1 to 10. So let's see what this thing can do. We'll go 5 miles an hour over the speed bumps, get it down to 5. There we go. And I would rate this thing about a 7 out of 10. So that's actually a pretty dang good score. Nothing is ever going to be a 10. So this is like the Dave Portnoy pizza review scale. Nothing is ever a 10. 9 is pretty dang close to being perfect. So for this thing to get a 7, that's a very, very good score. But let's take a right out onto this road. And we'll do just a regular little acceleration. We'll wait for traffic to pass, and then I'll catch up with you guys then. All right, let's pull out, and we'll do a little merging into traffic acceleration. Actually, a little bit less, because this next light is red. One thing that's really cool that I do like, and I know most cars do have it, but it's where you barely tap the turn signal and it will turn 3 times. It'll go tick, 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 which I really like on cars, which my daily driver is a 2007. It does not have that. So when I get into these newer cars, I'm like, oh man, I really like that feature. But my 2010 Camaro does have that feature. So anyway, this thing has the 1.5 liter 3-cylinder, which you would expect, man, that thing has a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder, man, that thing must be slow as heck. But it really isn't. Like, it has really good low end torque, and it accelerates honestly a lot better than you would expect it to. So we'll get up to this light, and I'm not going to get on it at all. I'm just going to do a regular acceleration like I would do normally when I'm trying to conserve fuel or something like that. But I mean, guys, it really, really accelerates a lot better than you would expect it to out of such a small motor. And that's something that's impressive with a lot of Ford vehicles, with the EcoBoost and the different Ford engines, turbo Ford engines that Ford makes, is that they really get a lot out of a little. And you'll see what I'm talking about on this acceleration. I'm really not going to accelerate all that much. Stop, start, turning it back on, and I'll do a little acceleration here. I mean, it accelerates better than my 2007 Honda Ridgeline, and that thing has a 3.5 liter V6, but it also has 200,000 miles on it and stuff. But the acceleration on this is very, very good for daily driver use, and especially because this thing gets such good fuel economy, with this thing getting 25 miles per gallon in the city and 28 miles per gallon on the highway. I'd say that you know, acceleration is very acceptable, and I'm assuming that those of you guys who are buying this Bronco Sport are looking to get a very comfortable daily driver with a good amount of space. It can haul my kids around, it can haul your dog around, but it still has good acceleration and great fuel economy. So that's really nice. It's got great fuel economy, great acceleration, but it also comes standard with 4-wheel drive. So there's not much more that you can ask, and you got great visibility out of the front, you got great visibility out of the sides. One thing is that you do have a pretty big blind spot right there, but you know what takes care of that is the blind spot monitoring that does come standard on the outer banks. So you may be able to notice, but like right about there is where you will find your blind spot monitoring. It'll light up in an amber type of color. Maybe if I get a car in my blind spot later on in the video, I will be able to show you guys what I'm talking about. But I'm sure if you guys are watching this video, you guys know how the blind spot monitoring works on most vehicles. Sitting at this light, this thing is actually pretty well insulated from what's going on around you. Like, take a listen. I mean, it's just very well insulated from the outside world, which on a vehicle that cost about $40,000, I'd say that's pretty good, because a lot of vehicles that cost, you know, $40,000, they really don't have the insulation that other cars of, you know, higher price tags do. But this one actually does have very good insulation. I mean, take a listen. The only thing that you can really hear is your engine, and honestly, I gotta say that this 3-cylinder sounds like a 4-cylinder. I don't have that much experience with 3-cylinder engines. I have a lot of experience with 4-cylinder engines, but this thing sounds pretty much exactly like a 4-cylinder engine. You can kind of, you can hear the turbo blow off when I let off of the accelerator. Lamborghini Huracan Spider right there in white. I think that looks pretty sweet. And I'd love to go out and rip a Lamborghini, another Bronco Sport. I'd love to go out and rip a Lamborghini Huracan right now. I think that would be awesome on a day like today. It's 80 degrees out right now, which you'll find right there. Ambient exterior temperature, just next to your ambient exterior temperature is what time it is. That's actually about an hour off. So very easy. All I gotta do is do that, and now my clock is adjusted. Actually, I think it's 1:17, so I would click on that one. All right, now the clock is adjusted correctly. But yeah, this thing rides very, very good. One thing that I did want to point out that I didn't remember until just now is that I did a U-turn on a very small road. I would say it's about as wide as 2 lanes of traffic. It actually is. It was as wide as 2 lanes of traffic. And this thing made the U-turn with even extra room, which was really impressive in my opinion. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, yeah, it is a short wheelbase vehicle. This actually rides on the same chassis as the Ford Escape. I was actually very impressed that this thing had such a small turning radius. So if you guys you know, live out in the country, but you guys work out in the city, just keep in mind that this thing can zip around a city very, very easily because it's so small. You know, it's got a short wheelbase. It's actually, you know, it's not super thin, but it is a little bit thin, and it's just be very, very easy to rip around in some traffic, but also, you know, just zip through a city. But like I said, you can zip through the city in this thing, but you'd also feel pretty comfortable driving it on the highways to get back out to the country. So this thing can kind of do multiple things. You don't feel like it's too small, you know, to where you don't feel safe, but it's just like the right size for city driving as well as out in the country driving. So I mean, looks are subjective, but I think this thing looks like a mini Bronco, which is pretty cool. And you can also get those wider fender flares. Like I said, you get 2 different fender flare packages that you can get. These are the standard fender flares. You can get one that's a little bit beefier, and then you can get the package number 2, which is even beefier. and it kind of just gives you kind of like rivets in the fenders. It kind of gives you some more definition as well as a more muscular look to the Bronco Sport. But yeah, that's about it for what I gotta say. This thing rides very, very well. It does have a firmer suspension, but it doesn't feel like it's too firm. It's like a good mix of, it'll, you know, go around a back road very well without tons of body roll, but it also cruises very well as well. But I'm gonna give you guys a minute or so of a POV drive before we move into that 0 to 60, so you guys can kind of get a feel of what it's like to drive without me saying a word. So as soon as this light turns green, I'll give you guys a minute, and then we'll do a 0 to 60. All right, I do want to say something, is that I think you guys should go out, if you guys are looking at buying one of these, go out and test drive one, and you'll be like, man, he was right. They actually do have a lot more power than what you would read on paper. It accelerates extraordinarily well for the size of the engine. It's not something that you would expect. That's enough of the quiet POV drive. I do want to show you guys how the sound system sounds, and all, you know, the GoPro's not really going to pick up the sound like it would in real life. However, I want to give you guys a little bit of what it feels like to listen to this 10 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. You can hear the subwoofer getting into action. So if you guys are getting a Bronco Sport and you want one that has a very good sound system, you're definitely going to want to upgrade to the 10 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's crystal clear and it's got a ton of bass. I think this thing has more bass than what I heard in the 18 speaker Bang & Olufsen Unleashed in the F-150 Platinum. So sound system sounds absolutely fantastic, and I think a reason being that it sounds like it's really bassy is because it does have that subwoofer, but it's also a smaller space than what you would find on like an F-150 crew cab. This brings us to our 0 to 60, so I'm gonna get lined up and then we'll do a 0 to 60 test. Go. That was 60 miles an hour. It's got very, very good low end torque. However, if you guys are doing a 0 to 60, don't expect it to be as fast as like a Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, obviously. But very good acceleration. This thing has more than enough power for you guys who are going to daily drive one of these. So don't be worried. It's got all the power that you need to merge into traffic. And even though it might not seem like it on paper, it really does. Go out and test drive one, and I think you guys will see what I am talking about. But that's it for today's video, guys. If you guys did enjoy the video, please give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about the 2022 Bronco Sport Outer Banks. But also, please hit that subscribe button. All those likes, comments, and subscriptions really help my channel grow and really help this dream become a reality of making these YouTube videos every day for a full-time job. I think that would be really, really cool, but I cannot do that without your guys' help. So all those likes, comments, and subscriptions, like I said, really, really do help me as well as the channel out in the YouTube algorithm and in real life. So like I said, that's it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.